Well, good afternoon and welcome to Tea Time with Miss Liz. That's right, it's afternoon tea, and we are in the house with the beautiful Joy Brown. So I'm just going to read a little bit on Joy and we're going to get into it and have a fabulous tea time together with everyone who is out there watching. And if you're watching the replay, please put hashtag replay. So, Joy is the Chief Executive Officer of 3E Consulting, where she continues to educate, equip, and empower people through coaching, conversations, and workshops. Joy impacts and present are felt by others through her expertise in career and entrepreneur development, conflict resolution, goal settings, health and wellness, leadership and team development, and personal and professional branding. Joy has been a part of two anthologies and is an Amazon International best-selling author for Step into Leadership Greatness. Leadership is not a title. She continues to empower audience internationally to show up bigger and bolder and level up. Make boss moves through her numerous appearances at virtual conferences and summits. Joy has been featured in various magazines and articles such as Tapin, VIP Global Women of Dignity, and has been recognized as a top 20 business coach, top 25 most inspiring women, and top 25 of global influencer, and top 50 of unstoppable innovators. Joy is walking in her purpose, helping to educate, equip, and empower women to unlock their passions, purpose, and potential. Thank you so much, Joy, for joining me today in Miss Liz's Tea Time. An amazing, amazing bio. But how I got to meet Joy was through the Sean Fair Leadership Experience Tour in September. So I actually got to meet this person in person, and she is a blessing. It was a real honor to meet you, Joy. So I just want to know, how did it all begin and why the 3E Consulting?
Oh, well, I just want to say thank you, Miss Liz, and looking forward to a dynamic conversation as I'm on the tea time. And so, how it all began. And so, as I look back over my life, I have always been of one who does inspiration for others, who wants to empower others. I can remember even as a child, my grandmother instilling in me what I call the I can mantra, that I could achieve anything that I set my mind to. And it's through my journey, and I'm in HR, have over 23 years in HR, that I've always been about people. I've always been about helping people, inspiring people. With a name like Joy, as I always say, my mother named me well, and I bring the joy to anywhere I go. And so, through my gifts and talents that I walk in each and every day, I am about educating, equipping, and empowering. And so that's what birthed the 3EEE, stands for educate, equip, and empower. So I do that at my job, I do that in the community. Anything that I'm a part of, I give my gifts and talents to make it better because joy was here. So that's what kind of started the 3EEE consulting.
That's awesome. I really like the three E's. Well, my name starts with an E, so why not, right? That's what I like. I like the E. The E is empowering, right? And
Mhm.
it really does educate. So, what was your biggest struggles bringing and creating the 3E Consulting?
Well, one of the things is I think the biggest struggles is really trying to decide how you want to again brand yourself. And so one of the things is what birthed it. I was doing all this coaching, I was doing all this career strategist stuff. And so one day I said, I'm going to just bring all that under one umbrella. And so that's really what I did. And understanding that I say I continue to educate, equip, and empower organizations and people through a variety of areas, such as career coaching, through business entrepreneur, through health and wellness, through goal setting. And as I look back, these are all the areas that I live personally. And so even when I speak, I write, I speak from a place that I've been. And I think that's so important in this walk in life that we're in, especially as we're empowering people. So I understand the journey because I've been a single mother and came out of that. I've been divorced and came out of that. I was much heavier and I decided to put my health first. And now I called it living your best life. And now I'm empowering other women to do the same. But I'm just walking in the purpose and telling the story and staring those strategies. So I guess the challenge is just figuring out you have all these gifts and talents. How are you going to start branding yourself? And so I really wanted to bring it all together. And so everything I do is under that 3EEE.
And I like it. I like the three E. It's got a catch to it too. It's like a nice little flow of tea, right? Three E. Here we
Yes.
go. We're gonna just spill you tea today. So, Joy, I got to meet you in September. What did you learn about yourself when you spoke for that event?
I will say that was my first in-person speaking event. Now I've been speaking all my life, as y'all can tell. When I was younger, when you ask a child, what do you want to be when you grow up? Guess what I wanted to be, Liz? I wanted to be a talk show host. So I knew back then that God had gifted me with this voice. And I grew up in the church, so I've done a lot of stuff on the pulpit and stuff like that. I do a lot of stuff in the community. So I've never been shy of a mic. But it was when I first decided, which was on my birthday, when I answered the yes to really step into this empowerment speaking. Because I give a lot of presentations at work, so I facilitated workshops. So I knew I had the gift, but it was really different to step outside of that and to now have an empowerment speaker as another title that I hold. And that experience was life changing. Just the connections, that we got a chance to meet in person. So I was super excited to meet not only Liz, but all the dynamic speakers that we saw for months on screens. I mean, just the wealth of information that we learned, just preparing for that day, and just being able to tell your story. And one thing about it I learned is my story may not be Liz's story or another speaker's story, but it's still a story that needs to be told and that I can just bless and inspire someone. And so I really learned to say, wow, I'm at the table. Wow, I have something to say and to be worth that I want to tell the world. So I really think that was it, that experience, because again, like I said, I've been speaking, but this was my really first time out here really speaking in public and calling myself an empowerment speaker.
Well, I think learned something too, right? With the three E's, right? Educate,
Mm-hmm.
equip, and empower, because it did that
Yeah.
all for you during your time, on Sean Fair. I really was impressed by how far you really came in your journey, and that when I heard your story, it was like, wow, really empowering and really educating, because we're giving the education through speaking and that.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciated you said that you wanted to be a talk show host, because that's
I
really
did.
incredible. Because you just never know how the future will take you, right? And here you
I
are
know.
today.
I know, and that's why I tell you. See, though, and I'm big on affirmations. I'm big on positivity. And so, who knew when I was a young child and had the little microphone and the brush and was talking and all of that? But I knew then that I had the gift. And so, like I said, up, you need a speaker. Up, that's me. You need a facilitator. That's me. You need me moderate a panel. And even to this day, I have people who will reach out to me to do different things. But I also want to use that as an encouragement that even the dreams, the aspirations, the thoughts that you may have had when you were a child or back in the day, it can still come to pass. It can still be manifested if you position yourself. So when I look at, doing the author and the anthology, all of that set me up. And it was like divine assignment, I do say. And so, when I answered the call for yes at my first speaking event on my birthday, that's what probably led, Sean to reach out to me. And again, I was highly, selected for that and appreciative of that opportunity. And because I didn't know who Sean was. I was like, oh, who's this person? Just like when Dr. Sylvia, who gave me my first opportunity, I literally had to Google because you hear about people, reaching out to you, and I was new, and I'm like, okay, is this real? I got, you got to fact check now. Everybody be sliding in. You got to make sure, like, is this real? Make sure they're who they are. And luckily, I had people that I just met, and I went to their page, and they were connecting them, so I reached out to them. So when we talk about the power of networking and people who say, hey, yes, this is what you do, this is how you prepare, I appreciate that because that's what helped me show up. So I was well prepared when I had to do my audition and things of that nature. So I appreciate the new connections and the relationships that I am building and creating and nurturing on this journey. And like Liz, like we're forever. So I told Liz, I'm coming to Canton. Guess what I'm calling when I go to Canton? Liz, I'm coming. That's what I'm going to say. Liz, I'm coming. So I have friends everywhere now, and I love it.
Well, I really like that you shared your story about Sean, because I think that's what we all went through. We were all like, "Who is this man? Like, what is he doing?" But you just never know who's watching you, right? You just never know who is getting in. inspired by what you're
Mhm,
sharing. You're connecting,
mhm,
you know, sometimes we put a post up and we don't realize that someone else is actually watching us. You
mhm,
know, they're actually connecting with us and they're saying, hey, it's not the right time right now, but let's wait. Let's see where
mhm,
she's going to go with this.
mhm,
Oh, okay, this is where she's going. Okay, I'm snatching her up, you know, because, and that's what I was saying to all of the
mhm,
Let family as I've
mhm,
been speaking to them, is that I noticed that we all had the same connection. We
mhm,
all overcame something. We all pushed
mhm,
through our pain, but we
mhm.
did it in a positive way. We took the pain and we turned it into triumph, right? We made that difference. We said, no way, you're not getting us, you
Right.
know? We're
Mhm,
gonna push and we're gonna push hard. And I think that's how we educate, right? And we
mhm.
empower other people, you know, and with the right equipment. So there's those three EEs again, right?
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
all alignment. It's all the alignment of the right timing. We might want something right away, but it's not the right time, it's not the right
Mhm,
place, and it's not the right person. But I honestly believe that we were all put together for a reason. We were all connected for a reason. As I've shared with you guys in
mhm,
private, is that I felt that we were connected
mhm,
so that we could all grow. We could all water each other's seeds. And that's what we were talking about in the back of the studio was,
mhm,
you know, in order to support each other, it doesn't always have to be financial. It could be the word of the mouth. It could be,
mhm,
you know what, I know somebody who can do this for you. I can't do it, but I know someone. And that's how we connect and that's how we grow,
mhm,
right? And that's how we educate too.
mhm,
Because the young girls and young guys that are out there watching us right now, they could be saying, you know what, I don't know if I have it. And we're here to tell you, yes, you do have it.
mhm.
Just
Yes, you do.
keep working it, right? So what message would you have for the youths out there for getting into this field of consulting?
I would say just believe in yourself. I am big on beliefs, because I think it starts with believing in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to? So as I look at my younger self and telling the young people that no matter what, you have to believe. There you have gifts and talents and goals and aspirations. Hold on to them, write them down. I'm big on visions, very big on visions, writing those down, because I believe you have to write the vision to make it plain. Not only that, once you believe in yourself, it is important that you connect with someone who is going to, as Liz said, water your vision. Who's going to support you? Who's going to say, Liz, what you need me to do? Oh, you need me to read that? You need me to pop on, interview you because you got something coming on? That's about watering. It truly is. I always say, takes a village. And I look at my village, my network, my community that I have built along this journey. And I would not be where I am today without my community. Someone who said, Joy, you got this. You can do this. Here, Joy, do this in this opportunity. And I always tell the story. Like I said, listen, we have so many empowerment stories. I'm like, well, how much time we got? Because I got all that story. I've shown up in my overcome. Oh my God, how much time you got? But it was with that, with even when I tell my story, when I started as an intern and I worked my way up, that people saw something in me that was kind of dormant, that was trying to come out, but they gave me an opportunity. And so when I look back of how I love to facilitate, they say, hey, Joy, I'm about to facilitate, a workshop, come with me. Okay. In my career was growing up in the career in HR. Okay. And Joy, you want to read, do the objectives. Yes, I do. Thank you. But little do, if I look back on it, those were seeds that was being planted because I love facilitation. I love having engagement. I love, like you said, educating, equipment, and power through whatever the subject matters. And I love connecting with people. So when you talk about the connecting, but it starts with believing in yourself, that I know that I have gifts. And I do believe that everybody has gifts and talent. Everybody is born for a purpose. And connect with people like myself, that's a coach, and Liz, that's going to help you find and tap into your purpose and potential. All the time, I am big on tapping into people's purpose and potential. At the workplace, I want you to bring your best self to work. I lead that way. I make sure I connect with my staff that way, because it's just sad to be on a job that that you have nothing to give, or you feel unvalued, or you feel like you're not making a difference. Oh, we need to change that paradigm shift, because you matter. You matter. And so connecting with people like coaches and mentors, will definitely help you tap into, and I say live your best life. Life is so precious, Liz. And what do I say? Being in the pandemic, that every day I live a life of purpose. Not try to, no, I live a life of purpose to make a difference.
Well, and I think that's what a lot of the viewers need to understand too, right? Is just because we speak motivation and empowerment doesn't mean that we don't reach out for help ourselves.
Mm-hmm,
We need the coaching, we need the mentoring. We can't do this on our own.
mm-mm,
It's not like we have this power that we can do it all on our own, right? So we need to water each other's seeds. We need to
yes.
serve tea so that we can
Mm-hmm,
actually make a difference and understand, okay, you have the sugar, you have the cream. Okay, let's have a perfect pot of tea here. Oh, I don't like sugar. Okay, well, let's put some honey in your tea.
let's put
You know
some
what I
money.
mean? Like let's switch it up. Let's
Mm-hmm,
be different. Because we can't lead always the same. We
right.
can't always serve the same, because
Mm-hmm,
if we do, then we get stale, right? Our
mm-hmm,
water just sits, our tea just
mm-hmm,
sits, and yes, it gets strong, but it gets bitter. And we can't serve bitter. We can only serve positive. We can only
right.
serve strength. The real flavors, the real blends. And I tell this to everyone: don't sit in your tea too long. Sit on your tea.
Mm-hmm,
Pour your tea. Spill your tea. Be human. Be
mm-hmm.
authentic. Live in
Yeah.
integrity. So I want to get into the tea of joy. So
Okay.
Joy, what is your tea? And you know how this goes. So what is your TEA?
So my TEA is truly about, again, it starts with those three E's: to educate, equip, and empower. And that is really the core of my being. That is what, even in everything I do, it's about the education. And to me, when I think about the education, the first E, it is really about the awareness. Finding out, and that could be about you, what you like, what you don't like, tapping into, what do you enjoy, what do you don't enjoy, what do you want to change, what do you want to course correct, what do you want to revise. And so when I think about educating, especially in life and doing self-reflection as you grow higher and higher and stepping into any new opportunity, what do I want to do differently? So that educating is about that awareness. Then when you do that, it is really about equipping. So now that I kind of know what I want, have a goal, I made it measurable. Okay, so now how am I going to do it? Okay, well, guess what? We got to put a plan of action together. And I always talk about, y'all know me if you heard me speak, movement. Y'all know one of my M's. You got to have that mindset. But movement is required to anything. You want to change your situation. Guess what? You got to do something differently. You want to lose some weight. Guess what? You got to exercise and change how you eat. If you want to move, guess what? You got to find some way to go. So anything in life, action and movement is required. And that's what that planning. So after you've been educated on what you want to do, then we want to equip you to give you some strategies, some tools, some techniques, develop a plan, develop a roadmap. How do I get from point A to point B? And then after you do all of that, it's time to go to that 30, which is empower. Then you're empowered to do it. You're empowered to not says, well, no, they said I couldn't. The devil is a lie. Yes, you can. And when there's no path, you create your own path. When people don't see you on your drive, you say, oh no, I know there's greater in me. Let me go on and see how I can rebrand myself, do something differently. Ask somebody, hey, can I shadow you? Can I ask you some questions? How did you get to this job? Or what do you think I need to do to get to the next level? That's how you feel empowered. That means no, when a door closes, you say, okay, well, let me go on and do something else. Let me go and walk into this path or create my own path. And so that is really my tea. It is really about making sure that I educate, equip, and empower people, especially women, to unlock their passion, purpose, and potential and live their best life. I know that's right. We say that's a song, living your best life like it's golden. Make that your reality.
I
Make
like
it
that.
your reality. Don't just, and I always say, don't just, go through life, bobbing and weaving and go to work, come home, watch your favorite reality show. There is more, and that's fine if you do that. But guess what? There is more to life to that. Get involved, pay it forward, be a coach, be a mentor a young person. I am big on young people. I have a 23-year-old because I look at the journey. Now, I know I am. If I look behind me, if I'm not training, if I'm not pouring into the future, uh, we got to. It's my charge. It's my duty because I want to do all of this so I can train somebody else to come take my place and go higher and far past me. But if we don't do it, they the future. They are the future. So to me, that is where it's all about. Just give back. That is so important. I grew up in a family that we served. My grandparents were servants. They empowered people in the church. And so that was my point of reference. So people said, Joe, do you ever get tired of doing stuff? No, because that's not work. It's not work. Nothing I do is work. Even when I go to work on my main job, why? Because I'm living in my gifts and I'm empowering people as the HR director, which is a new upgrade. So I do have a little testimonies. That's yeah. So when I say walk in the gifts, so I've just accepted a new position as an HR director. So when you talk about the journey and where I started from, and I stay true to myself and through coaches and mentors and walking and know, like I said, making a difference. I'm just one person. And I just, you just like you can't keep it to yourself because I just know the journey. I have grown up in this field, and my message is if it happened for me, guess what? It can happen for you too. And I'm here to help you show you how to do it.
Exactly, right? So now I want to get into your T a little deeper because I know it's
Okay.
the three E's, but if you could give me a word for each of the letters, the TEA, what would you give me, Joy?
So a letter for
A word for each letter. So a word that starts with T, a word that starts with E, and a word that starts with A. I want to know who Joy Brown is.
all right. So let me see. So my T, starting with the T, would be timing. I'm going to say time for that first one. And why I say that is I do believe that everything is destined in life, that there's a journey, there's a path. And so sometimes you may have like your goals, your gifts and talents that you may not be able to do. But I am here to tell you that a delay is not a denial. And I am here to also say the stuff that I thought about have manifested in my life that has blown my mind. And I'm just grateful. But I look at the timing. And so again, I'm always said that sometimes my time, I want stuff now. And God be like, not yet. You got to go through the preparation. You got to go through some stuff. And it is in those moments when I went through kind of those tests that have been my testimony, which is a part of the timing of life. It is all that has prepared me for this. So I would say that T is timing. And even with that timing being that testimony. And
I
so the
like that.
E, yeah, so the E would be empowerment. Because again, when I say my mother named me well and she knew what she was doing, there's a story even behind my name, how my name is spelled Joi, not Joy, and everything. It was destined. Like God gave her that name. And I truly believe that I bring joy to this world and I empower. And not only that, as you think you're doing that, but people will say, your energy that you bring, I hear the passion, the affirmations that you speak. And even like when I first speak, and people like Sean was like, Joe, I need you not to start at 10 because I have this powerful voice, this commanding voice. And so I appreciate that. And so it is something about the presence that I empower, but it's through the words that are authentic that I say and that I can understand, people and the connections I have with people. And so I just want to be someone to empower. Because again, as I look back on my life, there were people who said, you can do it. When I didn't think, okay, I don't know if I can do this. And yes, you can. Okay. And, so they empowered me in ways that I didn't even know. And even like years later, people come back and say, oh my God, Joy, you touched me. You did this. And you'd be like, wow. And so that E would be empower. And then the A would be activate the vision. And I think the A, you have to activate. You have to, and activating means by doing something. Activate what you have called in you. Don't just stay dormant. Don't just wait for things to happen to you. Sometimes you got to make things happen for you. And so it's activating. And so it's being in the right place at the right time, connecting, picking up the call, everything, as you said, how do we get here? It's because, I just, I have another, like, I'm going to take the example of when COVID hit. I sell shea butter. So I was all geared up, all these in-person events, right? COVID hit. Guess what? We in our house. So I'm thinking, what am I going to do with this shea butter? I ain't going to sell out my house, right? So what I have to do, I activated and put the motion, but I did my website. Now I knew the website was on the things to do list, but it wasn't a top priority. But that whole situation, I had to activate and do something different to help me sustain the business. And I will say, by me developing my website, reaching out to my clients, letting them know, hey, I'm still here, I have something. I just rebranded myself. But what if I just say, okay, well, what am I going to do? Not put anything and not activate the vision to help me get out of there and then go back to it and connect with people and let them know who I am. So I think that's so important to activate. So it's a time thing that you're going to go through life, but you're going to come out better and you're going to have a testimony. And then you're going to be empowered to share your story with others and connect with them. And then you're going to activate and make stuff happen. And together, oh, watch out there, world, because we are just getting started. I do believe in 2022, new stuff will be birthed. I do believe that. And so I just speak greatness for Miss Liz and her brand and what she has, because greatness is here and greatness will in many areas of our lives and business that we want to be able to share with others.
And I really like that because I like your strong tea. And this is what I did is I pushed you to share your strong tea. Because girl, it is you. It is you. As soon as you were giving me the words, I was like, oh my God, that is her. Like really, like this is how amazing this tea works, guys. I'm telling you, tea really does make a difference,
Mhm,
and you just never know how strong you really are. The words that you gave me, tea, empowerment, and activate, that is your past, present, and future.
mhm,
And Joy, that is you. That is you, girl. Because as a little girl, you wanted to be that broadcaster, you wanted to be
mhm,
that TV host. It took time. You worked your time as a
mhm,
child to find the steps, get empowered, get engaged, get motivated, find the resources so that you could be who you are today. Empowering, my God, that's what you're doing right now. You're empowering people. You are in the present, girl. Like your tea is so strong. I am so happy for your tea. Like this is what I mean. I can't serve the teas. You guys have to serve your own teas
mhm,
because this is what I do. I just hold the pot and I just spill you guys so you can get out there and get your teas out there because you just never know. And activate. Oh my God. Yeah. Future. This girl's going on
mhm,
fire. My God. Like 2022, new beginnings. Like there is a lot of things that are going to be happening
mhm,
for a lot of us. And I like the way that you shared your story about COVID because COVID
mhm,
actually did activate a lot of people.
mhm,
Okay, what am I got to do now? Everything that we've been putting on hold for years,
mhm,
or I'll do that next month, or it's not the right.
mhm,
COVID actually activated us and all said, wake up, do what you
mhm,
got to do, and stop prolonging it because now is the time to do it. And I was the same way. COVID,
mhm,
it was like, how are you doing this? Move, girl. You need
mhm,
action, right? And that's what my T is: teaching, education, awareness, transformation, empowerment, and action.
mhm,
Those are the T's that I serve. But when you serve your tea, Joy, you serve a strong cup of tea. And anyone who is watching now or watching the replay, please connect with Joy. Like, this girl is amazing. Now, I want to get into the number 3 because I know that you do this thing. I think it's on Tuesdays or Thursdays. I can't remember what day it is, but you do a very short broadcast, but you do the
mhm.
3 E's and you do the number 3. So you always have a three
I
different
know.
words. So I want to get into that. Why the number 3? Does it
But
resemble something?
3 is one of my favorite numbers. 3 is one of my favorite numbers. And if you know me, I always do stuff in 3. So it's either 3 E's or it's either 3 P's or it's either 3 points. And so I do believe in the manifestation of 3. And so I just love threes. And so I do believe in three. It's a biblical term. I always say for the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, so that's the 3. But I've always been infatuated with 3. And even I'm in a sorority, so my line number is in the 3. So I'm 35. So there was that 3 and everything. So threes just show up. And so I do believe in just that three. And so you're mentioning my talk to me Thursday. And so I use
That's
my
it. Thursday.
Yep, I use my Talk to Me Thursdays just to share again a little inspiration. Either I'll post a quote or I'll just hop on, do a live and just give some inspirational word. Not long, but like you said, and I do believe in like self-care. People who know my journey, I can't do all these titles and roles if I don't take care of me. And so when I was, especially before the weather was breaking, I would go outside, Miss Liz, in the morning time because I'm one of them wake up really early in the morning. If you need a wake up call, call me because I'm up early. You need some morning inspiration, call me because I have all this bubbly energy at like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. And my girlfriend be like, Joy, I don't, and I drink no coffee, y'all. This is a natural high. So I tell this is this is my natural self. And so I just wanted to come on. And so God gives me so much inspiration. And when God gives me like a quick thought, I got to write it down because that's there for a reason. And even though I've been talking and talking about finishing strong this year, I just want to encourage that, we were in the fourth quarter. We just started. Y'all, this is the last quarter. But guess what? There's still time. And I just wanted to use that as to not only to encourage myself that even no matter where this year started, you could still end strong. You had some goals that you wanted to do and they got derailed or priorities changed. Guess what? You can still try to accomplish them. And so I just wanted to encourage somebody that it is never too late to accomplish anything that you want to. And I always say one of my favorite quotes, I'm a quoter, is that we are the authors of our life. Right? You have the control of the pen. Write the story. And it's okay if you need to rewrite it, revise it, go a different way, change it. Because I'm quite sure if Miss Liz can says, I know I can, that my plan, I thought I would be doing this, and nope, I've got another way for you. And so I think that's important that life we pivot. And that's so what I learned even in COVID. As we talk about, you had to pivot. And I know we had to go through, COVID and we've lost a lot of loved ones, but I grew so much in COVID because I had time for myself. I had time to really think, well, what do I want to do? And like you said, each day, oh, it's so precious now. It's so precious. So that's why I said I have to live a life of purpose. And at this point, it must be intentional. Everything I've been through now, it's got to be intentional. I have no time to play games. It must be intentional. I want to connect with the right people. I want to make things happen. I really want to educate, equip, and empower others. So I had no time to play and not be focused and serious about what I want to do and everything. So I think that's so important in everything.
Well, I really think that, activating ourselves during COVID, because it did shut some people down, but I believe it actually activated the world
Mm-hmm.
in a different way. A lot of people don't see it that way, but, we really got moving in
Mm-hmm.
2020 and 2021. Things happened to me that I wouldn't have ever expected.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said yourself as well, right? The website, you were like, oh, I'll get to it later. Well, then all of a sudden, boom, you got all this sheer butter that you need to,
Mm-hmm.
get rid of. You can't just have all this butter sitting in your house, right? So the butter actually got you moving and it got you sliding, a little girl.
Yeah, love it. Yeah.
So, Joy, you were in two books, two anthologies. How
Mm-hmm.
did you find that experience? Because the viewers out there that would like to be in anthologies, could you explain a little bit more on what an anthology is and how the journey of it and all of that?
Okay, yes. And so I am in two anthologies, as Liz said, and my experience was phenomenal. Both of them were very different. But if somebody would have said, 2 years ago, because this is only about 2 years being an author, Joy, could you see yourself as author? I'm like, no, what you talking about? But let me tell you how it started, because there's always a story. So
Yeah.
prior to my 40th birthday, it was the countdown to 40. I'm like, all right, coming out of my 30s. So during 40 days for my birthday in the month of April, I wanted to do a post every single day leading up to my birthday. So I would just post different stuff, quotes, people would comment on. And then after I did that, I was like, wow, this is really good. I really enjoy, the feedback or just being able to inspire. I said, wow, maybe one day, maybe this would be a book or something or do something with it. Left it alone, right? That happened in April. Later on that year, through somebody I knew, my coach, my mentor, reached out to me, and she's been doing books and all of this. I'm like, girl, go. I got your book. I'm reading it. It's great. So she says, hey, Joy, I'm about to, somebody's looking for authors. Would you like to join this interest call? Sure. Again, like a sponge. Yep. Take me along. So we get on the call. And again, as a coach, my first book was called Silhouettes of Authentic Coaches from Mind, Body, and Soul. So a group of people talk about, here's the visionary, what her topics were. And again, thinking about, okay, I'm on this call. Now, I'm new to this. What am I going to write about? So I'm writing about body. And I wrote about my transformation with my weight loss. So in that book, I have my before picture and my after picture. And I gave people strategy about making sure that they're making themselves a priority in their health. Just different stuff that shared along the journey that has helped me and that I continue to help others. Phenomenal experience. And so the second one led from the first one, led to the second one. So everything's by, remember I said divine timing, right? Y'all remember one of my T's, divine timing. If I didn't do the first one, that may not have helped me with the second one. So the second one again, hey, I'm about to do this book, interested, step into leadership greatness. Hey, I'm a leader. I have grown up with great leadership. I've seen also not great leadership. I said, I can probably write about something on leadership at the table. We get a chance to pick our topic. So I picked conflict. Why?
Ooh.
Because I teach conflict as an adjunct professor, but I teach it in a way that, yes, when I say conflict, people be like, oh, that's negative argument. But also conflict can create spaces to be heard, to be understood, and understanding your triggers, understanding there are stages in conflict, understanding how to use I statements, how to diffuse stages of conflict can help you in life, not just at work, in life, because we are all in relationships with others.
Absolutely.
So I took that topic and I even went into, like, everybody says that conflict is negative. It can be, but it's how you choose to respond to it. And so what did I do through that? I gave them tips about knowing triggers, knowing your strategies. And again, in my class, I've had even my students say, I learned so much from this conflict class. We do assessments. They learn their partners better, because now if I understand myself, that's that awareness piece, that's that education. I'm better to understand how I show up. And then I'm able to maybe identify what's my partner. And then we can have conversations about, so when I know you get upset, I'm going to learn not to be yelling and screaming, because if we've seen conflict on TV and in movies, when people are yelling and screaming, nobody's listening. We do know
Yep,
that, right?
nobody's listening.
Nobody's listening. And so when one person gets the 10, I can't get the 10 because that's not going to work. So you got to learn those boundaries and learn, how to have those conversations and all of that. And so both of those experiences, being, a co-author and being a part of these anthologies, was phenomenal. And I truly would say, timing, they helped me prepare myself for that speaking engagement. If I didn't do those two books, because in that book, we were doing podcasts, we were out there everywhere I was going, we were talking about the book, but that was a part of the, launching the book. But I got a chance to talk about me, who I was, why I picked my chapter, but that opened the door. So that opened the door to have Dr. Sylvia reach out to me. Then that later opened the door for a Sean Fair to reach out to me. Then that later opened the door for me to meet Liz and all the other dynamic, speakers on Latin, the other opportunities that I have received, because why? It was all in the time. It was all in the divine. So when I say I'm just one person that has actually reflected, and I do that often, kind of reflect back on life and be like, wow. And just so I coach people about how to be prepared and positioned. I speak from that because all of that was how I was preparing and how I was positioned for this next. And so that is the platform that I speak about, ties into all those 3 E's. I want to help people be prepared and positioned for whatever is next. Because it starts with the mindset, Miss Liz, as we talked about. It starts being how we connect, how we show up. All of that helps us answer the yes to life.
Well, and I think that's really important that you bring that to the table, right? The conflict, because you're right. Like if somebody's yelling and you're yelling, you're not solving anything, right?
Mhm.
And if this person's coming at you at a 10 and you're only at a 2, you're
Mhm.
already shut down again. Like,
Mhm.
so we have to find these solutions in that. Now, I know that you do incredible work with a lot of different things, Joy. So if you could share with the viewers out there, what do you do besides the 3E consulting and the motivational speaking? What else do you do to bring joy to joy?
I love that, to bring joy to joy. So I would say, how
That
do
was a
I bring
mouthful,
joy
wasn't
to
that?
joy?
Bring joy to joy.
I love that. How do I bring joy to joy? And I truly bring joy to joy is just being used as a vessel to inspire others. And that is so authentic and genuine. So for instance, we talked about my health journey. So again, talking to one of my girlfriends, she was like, girl, I got this cruise I'm going on in January. I'm like, okay, girl, I'm trying to lose this weight. Okay. Now all my friends know every day I get up and do my self-care, something. So I decided, I said, I'm gonna launch another fitness challenge, health challenge. I'm gonna empower women. And I called it Get Right, Get Tight, and Get Fit. And I was inspired by her because again, what am I doing? I'm just helping somebody, again, being accountable, setting up a program to help them be successful. So I have about 7 women on this 3-week journey with me, and we're doing different stuff. But again, I want to be able to inspire them that you can do it. So we're doing stuff fun, and I got all these challenges, and I'm posting motivational quotes, and hey, y'all, this great day outside. Make sure you go outside and post your picture. So when you talk about what brings me joy, doing that, it's the little things, how I can be used because I'm still walking in the gifts to help somebody else. And that really is anything I'm about or a part of. I just can't sit by and not to see something and don't offer to help. That's not my nature. And sometimes then be like, Joe, how you get yourself? Because you just said yes. But that's what my calling is. It's my nature. I am about making people and places better. And I can't do that being quiet. No, I can't. I'm sorry. I can't do that by offering. So, if I see a need, I'm going to try to help it. That's what I do. And I'm going to make a difference. Because again, as I look back over my journey, I always say, on this journey called life, I want to be able to help somebody with a word or song, and my living will not be in vain. And that's really what my calling is. And that's what gives me joy. That somebody, even after I'm going to say, that girl kept going. She encouraged me. She said I can do it. She, did something to bless my soul, whatever that is, inspire me, encourage me, took a mentor, just sat down to ask me, how do I do this, offered to help me, all of that. That is what gives me joy. So the service and giving to other is what gives me joy. And so I do that in my day-to-day job, which I'm so blessed because I've been in HR, grew up in it. And so I'm able to share that experience. I've walked the journey of a lot of different HR professionals. And now as my new position, I'll be able to have impact and influence like no other. And so I'm super excited, Miss Liz, because I understand the assignment that I've answered my yes to. And so I am humbled. I am so humbled, and I'm excited because we're going to go higher. We're going to go greater. And I'm going to spread all this joy in this new organization. I'm just excited to be able to just inspire others and to create new things.
I really like how deep you get, Joy. It
Mhm.
really is encouraging. And for the viewers out there and the youths out there, especially,
Mhm.
you got to push yourself. You got to get motivated. You got to
Mhm.
empower yourself. And like Joy said, you have to believe in yourself.
Mhm.
It starts with you. If we don't believe in ourselves, we can't push ourselves further. No matter who's behind us, who has our back, if we don't believe in ourselves, we can't do it. So we have to be that person that says, you know what? I'm that
Mhm.
3E out there, and I can make a difference. I can educate, I can equip, and I can
Mhm.
empower. You can be that 3E
Mhm.
if you reach out to Joy Brown and you find out what brings her joy will bring you joy, because joy really does have a way of engaging with people and making people see within themselves. That's one
Mhm.
thing that I learned about you, Joy, when we got to spend time together, is that you know you don't do the work for us. You give us the tools, and it's
Mhm.
up to us to use those tools. You know. Now, with your weight loss journey, how much weight did you actually lose, and how long did it take you?
Oh, that's great. So I actually lost. This is the second. There's a story. So the second time, I lost probably over 100 pounds, and so
Wow.
the first time, yes. So I think both times, but this time I was like, no. Every hill, every sit up, every run. I said, oh no, we're not going back. I gave all the clothes away. That's another thing. When you lose weight,
That was the first thing in the garbage.
we
Go.
gonna keep the clothes. No, we're not gonna. That's a strategy. No, we're gonna lose the weight and we're gonna give away the clothes.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna go back in the same clothes that we left from. No. We're not doing it because what? That's a. Oh, I could just if I gain it back, I still no. We're gonna
I
throw
like
give
that.
it
I like
away.
that.
So right, it's those type of things. But at this time, and I think the difference was for me that my mindset was different. And I just again chose that this journey of my life, when I said I want to live my best life, and that means in every sense, my health, my wellness, my self-care, my professional, that was important to me. And it's making yourself. And so even as I'm doing something this week on Mom Inspired Summit, and we talk about that self-care. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but you have to find your self-care in that because you can't be the best mom, the best author, the best anything if we're not pouring in and taking care of ourselves, even if it's for 15 minutes. But how you do that is why you got to connect yourself, get your community. See, all of that went together, right?
Yeah.
Again, that's a successful tip. I would not have made it without the village. So when I was younger, going to school, my grandparents watched my son. Sometimes my son was at school with me when I was going through school. And it's funny now that my dean is still there. And she remembers that little boy in that classroom with his mother. But what I say now is that little boy is 23, graduated on time from his #1 school, and is doing phenomenal. But guess what? He saw me serve. He saw me never give up. He saw me involved. And so when you think like your kids aren't watching, and I would tell y'all think I'm some mine, honey, he makes his own path in his own way. And I say people who know him just love him. And he has the spirit. And I knew when I had him and I saw his gifts, and he was in Boy Scout, made Eagle Scout before he could drive. But I knew then he had a spirit with young people. I watched him. I would say, Javante, and his name was Javante. I would say, you ever think about, majoring in education? No, his major is social work.
Oh, wow.
My undergraduate was family studies. And so when you have been in a family who is service and giving and empowering, that's our model. And then I saw him do throughout the stuff I exposed him to, see the gifts. So all I did was nurture them. And it's funny now, after he's done that and now he's working with young people, he now says, wow, I get it. I see how everything's lining up for what I was doing in Boy Scouts, in my summer job when I was camp director. Now you're working at a school with young people. That's the journey. That's the timing that I talk about.
Absolutely right.
All
And all the past, the present, and the
mm,
future. We're not saying to bring all of the negative into the
mm,
present, into the future. We're saying you need the past to understand your
mm.
present, to understand the future. You
Yes.
know, and you need to take those tools and you need to take those tips and you need to move them into the present, into the
Mm-hmm,
future. By changing them, by educating
mm-hmm,
yourself, by getting equipped that this is what happened. Okay, maybe
mm-hmm,
you went through a hard struggle, you had a journey with weight loss, but you changed the mindset. You
mm-hmm,
made a difference by saying, you know what, no longer will I be doing this,
mm-hmm,
and you gave away and you started fresh. And this is what we need to do is we need to start fresh. We need to
mm-hmm.
start over. And it's okay to start over,
It is.
you know? And it's okay to fail. It's okay to
Mm-hmm.
say, you know what? Okay, this is not working for me, but I tried.
I
You have to at
tried.
least try. So I want to get into before we wrap up your tea time,
Mm-hmm.
Joy. I want to get into what are your future plans for the 3E consulting?
That's a very good question. So my future plans is, like I said before, I do believe that in 2022 we're going to birth some new things. So I'm excited because I'm birthing my master class on prepared and positioned master class. Y'all should know what's some with them P's. If it's not them E's, it's with them P's. And so in this class, I want to provide strategies to help people live their best life, to accomplish goals and aspiration. And it's going to start with one, creating that vision. I am big on vision. So as part of this masterclass, we're going to create a vision board. We're going to talk about that vision. There will be some individual coaching and some group coaching sessions. But after we talk about that vision, then guess what we're about to do? We're about to put a plan of action together. We got to have a roadmap to how do we take that vision and to make it a reality? How do we take that dream and aspiration and put some action steps to it? And after we do that, then we're going to talk about how we connect and network. There is power in the network. Because again, Liz may need something from me. That says, well, I don't know that, Liz, but send me that. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to send it to my network because I'm connected to people who have the answer and the resources that Liz is needing. It's all about the power of the network and the connections. So we're going to talk about building that, and all of that through those tips and strategy is going to help you be prepared and positioned for whatever the next opportunity. Start your business, go back to school, start a new career, pivot, course correct, turn that dream, dust that dream off, put it off the back burner, side burner to the front burner. We're going to learn all of that. But it starts with your vision. Starts with that vision. What do you desire for your life? And I will say, one of my pivotal moments in my life, I really had to say, I desire more. And how did I get there? I started with my first vision board 6 years ago. Behind me, I have all my vision boards up. But it was when I said in my mind, I desire and want more for me. Not only did that, what is that looking like, Joy? I wrote it out. And don't just write it out, post it, put it up. Because that's that affirmation, people. Go back to remind yourself, I wanted this. How am I going to make that happen? That's it right there. It's almost like, I'll go back to the weight loss. You want to get into this dress or get into this. Keep that dress up. Remind yourself what the ending goal is. And I think that's important. Remind yourself, what are you trying to get to? What's your end state? So that's one of the things is I will be launching in 2022, as well as individual coaching classes, as well as group coaching. And I think I'm about to do some mentoring because, people will reach out to me and, hey, well, Joy, you mind talking to my daughter or talking to my son? And I enjoy being a mentor. I'm in a mentor at work. I'm in a mentor in my sorority, but I just enjoyed the give back. But I also want to bring people together. And that's when we're going to start having conversations about stuff that we can just be a blessing to inspire others because it's in our story. And I do believe that our story is not for us. Our story is to be shared with others. And if I can share anything, people know me, I'm just going to share because as I am being blessed, I have to share. You don't get blessed if you just close your mouth or close your hand. So I'm going to share and continue to pour out as God pours into me to be a blessing.
Well, and it's like you said, right? If we don't serve and we don't share, how can we grow? How can we
Mm-hmm.
help each other? We need to water each other's seeds.
Mm-hmm.
And Joy, I am honored to know you. Like you are an incredible young lady. Like and we truly make a difference when we are our authentic selves. We teach and we preach and we share who we are as an individual, and you have done that during this tea time, as you have really opened up the doors and shown who joy is and what joy brings. Joy, right? So let's do the joy brings joy, or how does joy get the joy? So let's just get the joy out there. And if anybody would like to reach Joy, I have been sharing her links on the screen as she's been sharing her story and her tea as well. So she is on Linktree, she's on Instagram, she's on Twitter, she's on LinkedIn. So if you would like to reach out to Joy, Joy, what is your future plan for speaking in 2022?
I'm going to already claim that we're going to have some more opportunity in some organization. I want to facilitate some workshops for organizations about, just tapping into the talent and engagement. That's one of the things is definitely through the pandemic. We've had to lead differently as leaders and oftentimes be the coach and even the mentor to our employees. And I think the future of work is so very different. So I definitely want to do something with facilitating some workshops in leadership and empowering leaders as well as staff and facilitating various conversations. And so I will say that is what's in store for that. I speak that. And so when it's all said, I'm like, remember Liz, when I said I was going to be doing it, girl, guess what? I'm going to be doing that. So I just speak those opportunity for me to speak more, to get into some organizations and some small groups, to have some conversations and some workshops. Because that's when we do the work. That's when we're going to really connect and bond and share. And that's really what I really love. That's like I do in the classroom. I love teaching in the classroom because I get a chance to hear from students and we get a chance to relate and talk about it. And how do we apply that to life? And that's what it's all about. So that's what's in store for Joy.
Well, I really, really am honored to have you join me today for tea and to share your tea. Timing, empower, and activate. I love your tea. Your tea is a strong tea. So, if anybody would like to know more on Tea Time and where Miss Liz is going in the future of 2022, you just have to stay connected. And you need to, if you need me in any way, you can reach out and I can network, and we will water the seeds together and we will spill tea together and we will make a difference through a cup of tea. So I want to thank each and everyone who's watching now and who will watch the replay. Please put in the replay if you're watching replay where you're watching from, so I know where I can be hitting the audience a little harder. And there's always room for growth, and my tea is ready to grow for 2022. So Joy, what is your 3E ready to do in 2022?
Oh, my 3E is ready to go higher and greater. And so looking forward to launching some, again, the master classes are coming, prepared and positioned. We'll probably have some challenges and the health tips to just be empowerment to others. And so looking to have some conversations and some workshops in a variety of areas. So if you're looking for some empowerment, looking how to go from strategies of how to go from a strategy to some action plan and execution, then please reach out to me because I am passionate about educating, equipping, and empowering people and organizations to be their best selves and to accomplish their goals and accomplishments in life. And so it has been my pleasure to be with you, Miss Liz, on Tea Time.
Well, thank you so much, Joy, for joining me today on Tea Time. And I will see everyone November 14th at 4 p.m. with a new guest, Dr. April Johnson, who will be here sharing on the April Johnson's uh, enterprises. I had to look at, like, my eyes are all gooey gooey here. But yes, and April will be joining me November 14th at 4 p.m. and she will be sharing her cup of tea with all of you out there. So I want to thank you each for joining me on Tea Time today, and we will make a difference one cup of tea at a time. So again, stay tuned because Miss Liz is just getting started and I'm spilling hard. So I'll see you November 14th at 4 p.m. with a new guest. Thank you.
Thank you.